Bigger, faster, stronger, or bruised, fearless, stunned. Beginning in elementary school, young boys start training for the gridiron and dream of one day being a big star in the NFL. Few seem to consider the mental and physical risks that lie in the many games ahead. In 2013, the NFL reached a $765 million settlement with former athletes who sustained serious brain injuries. In the midst of the developing research and litigation surrounding concussions in football, college, high school, and youth athletes must consider the risk when the players put on their first set of pads. In spite of these risks, 2.8 million young kids are still playing football, including Bridger, a 14-year-old Shenandoah freshman. Him and his father, Joe, explain why football is so important to them.
Yes, my family very highly encouraged me to play. Dustin being an older brother, I look up to him, and he was a good football player, and that made me want to go out there and, do the same. I started to play football as soon as I could, and in flag football I played in second grade and up, and then I eventually got into Little League tackle football, and then middle school, and then high school.
I played junior high football and played my senior year at very good football and really enjoyed it.
Head football coach Brian Dickman also encouraged kids to go out for football, a sport that he has loved all his life.
Why do I love football? I think it's a great game, and throughout playing the game, you learn a lot of life lessons.
Bridger seems like a typical teen who enjoys running, Nebraska football, and supporting the Chiefs. However, Bridger has already had 2 concussions in his life.
Well, when Bridger was 5, he fell from the top of a hot tub back on the concrete, and he got pretty sick.
And I couldn't jump or move or do any major activity for a while, so it was scary. In 8th grade, I had a concussion in football. That was the concussion that was pretty scary. I lost memory, and I didn't remember the game. I just kind of woke up on the sidelines and just kind of started, freaking out because losing memory is it's pretty crazy.
Shenandoah High School's nurse, Linda Loughlin, describes what happened to our brain when we experience a concussion.
A concussion is a traumatic brain injury. It affects the function of the brain, not the structure. So it can affect mood, it can affect sleep, it can affect a way a student makes a decision or ability to do homework. It can also have physical symptoms such as especially a headache, nausea and vomiting, visual disturbances. Sometimes people think of concussions, they'll classify it as mild, moderate, or severe. And the thing to remember about a concussion is it's a traumatic brain injury. So it's the same thing as having a car accident or falling off a ladder.
Bridger experienced some strong side effects from his concussions as a young boy.
When I get a concussion, at first it's not too bad. Well, my concussion, I lost memory. The pain gets you later. The headaches is the pain.
How are we protecting our athletes from the serious risks of concussions?
Number one, it's a physical game. It's a contact sport, and prior to putting on pads, the athlete is made aware of, obviously, the risks that come with playing the game of football.
49 states and Washington, D.C. have enacted new concussion management laws.
Well, the major changes took place in on July 1st of 2011, when the House and Senate met in the latter part of 2010, the beginning of 2011. They put in place concussion guidelines, or state law, if you will.
Part of the new requirements include parents and students signing permission forms before participating in school athletics.
If a young person has signs or symptoms of a concussion and are noticed by a coach, sponsor, or director, or an official that's officiating that game, then they must be removed, and they cannot be put back into that contest until they have written permission to return to the activity by a physician or a medical.
As a coach, our job is to coach and put our athletes in the best possible position, and the medical professionals will assist us in assessing a concussion.
With all of these new rules and guidelines, do Iowa parents feel more informed about concussions?
I think the school and the coaches are doing a great job, and it's changed drastically in the past just even 3 years. 4 years, it's a huge difference than it was before when they would just let the kids go right back in.
Yeah, we care about all of our athletes, and we're going to put them in the best possible position to be safe, number one, and to be successful.
How will the new concussion rules impact football in America?
At this point, the cat's kind of out of the bag. They're so aware and keen on what the problems are. It looks to me like it's going to be very difficult to play these sports if concussions are going to play that big a part in them. I mean, in 5 or 6 years, there could be a drastic change in high school sports.
One thing you can be sure of is that players, coaches, and fans still feel that love of the game that will keep Iowa football a strong tradition.
Yeah, we care about all of our athletes, and we're going to put them in the best possible position to be safe, number one, and to be successful.
This is Chase Heiser,
Leonardo Braz,
and Devin Wood with Shenandoah News Team and PBS Student Reporting Labs.